Another thing that is an important discipline, technique, aside from what I've already talked to you about, the 5-minute warning, 2 positive choices, check my previous videos for those. But another one is called consequences. In order for a child to learn from their mistakes, they need to experience consequences. And when I do not shame children, I do not blame children, I do not threaten children, I do not punish children, I do not reward children, then what do? I discipline them. No shaming, no blaming, no threatening, none of that. That stuff doesn't work, and it creates an external locus of control. What do you do then? Well, I have to teach children how to be. How do I do that? Well, consequences. But in order for a consequence to be discipline rather than punishment, it has to be prearranged. You can't say, I'm taking away all your electronics because you did this. Okay, that is reactive. In order for a consequence to be a learning opportunity, it has to be proactive. You have to say these 3 words. If you choose to do this, then here's what I'm going to do. Now, here's my rule about consequences. They should be as related as possible. They should be respectful. And they have to be enforceable. Never, ever, ever tell a child you're going to do something that you're not going to do or that you can't do. Recently, I had a parent kind of threaten a kid. Well, if you mess up and get that thing at school, then you're just going to be homeschooled. Well, no one was going to homeschool that child. And the kid was like, called him on it. Hey, great, I'd love to stay home and be homeschooled. Well, that wasn't a possibility. So the point of the matter is you don't threaten kids, you don't shame kids, you don't blame kids, and you prearrange consequences. So you say, if you choose to do that, then here's what I'm going to do. And then if you say something, then boy howdy, you better do it, and you better be consistent, because if you say you're going to do something with children and you don't do it, then you train them to be incredibly obnoxious. Because their job is to test their limits, to test their boundaries. And if your boundaries are not firm and they are moving, or they can't trust that they're really a boundary, they're going to be testing you all the time. And those are children that are very, very difficult to be around. Very, very hard. So if you keep very firm limits, firm boundaries, you do what you say and you say what you do. I never ever tell a child something unless I mean it and unless I can follow through. I'll give an example. One time I told my daughter, if you choose to do that again, then we're going to have to leave. And it was a party, and I was having fun, and I didn't want to leave. But she chose to do it again, and guess what? I had to leave the party because I said I was going to. So don't say something unless you're going to do it. And then if you can do it without the pissiness, it's better. But sometimes that's not possible. Sometimes it's not possible. But try to, no shame, no blame. Oh, I see you've chosen that. Well, we've got to go. Except I was a little pissy because I didn't want to go. So if you could take that little pissiness out of your voice, it's a little bit more effective. So consequences have to be prearranged, and you have to use these 3 words if you choose, and they have to be enforceable and respectful and as related to the behavior as possible. I do a whole class on just what would a good consequence be, but I'll just tell you what I do for most or many things. First of all, I take away things I don't want them to have anyway. I don't want children to have iPads, and before 5, absolutely not. So I don't want them having an iPad, and I certainly don't want them watching TV. So guess what I'm going to take away? Guess what's a no-brainer for me? Now, oftentimes children have trouble picking up their toys. So my rules are, people are not for hurting, ever, and what you take out, you put away. So if a child isn't picking up their toys, you say, well, if you choose not to pick up those toys, then I'm going to pick up the toys and I'm going to put them in a box, and you're not going to have them to play with. Well, if you pick them up and you put them in the box and they don't have them to play with, is that going to escalate a child? Yes, it is. They're usually not going to be happy about it. If your child doesn't even care and they don't even notice that that the toys are gone, then you have too many toys, which is a whole nother story, and we will talk about that. But so if the child escalates and they get very sad and upset, Is it okay for a child to tantrum or to be sad and upset when you implement a consequence? Yes, it is. And you have to wrap your head around that. So what do? You take them to their safe place, you wait until you're calm, you wait until they're calm, and then you said, I could tell that you were really mad when I took those toys away. So the next time you play with toys, what do you need to do? Oh, you need to pick them up. Okay, when can I have those toys back? Well, tomorrow we'll try again, and we'll see if you know that you have to pick them up and put them away when you're done. And toy storage, that's a whole other thing. Should be down, buckets on the kids' level. Everything has a place and everything in its place. That really helps children to become responsible, just like good preschools kind of set it up. Put your hand on your heart and say with me, my heart to your hearts, I wish you well. Subscribe to my YouTube channel, and if you need more help or you'd like to schedule an appointment with me, go to my website at parenting-plus.com. You'll find my contact information and give me a call. Barb says,